Stand for the pledge. Jimmy?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is our first day of an open meeting. We're glad to be back, no masks. And we're back to full capacity here in
Packed
Mahoning
house.
County. Packed house.
Packed house, just like Cleveland Indian Stadium.
Absolutely. When you speak, make sure you come up to the podium, okay? Mr. Paul, okay.
Public response?
If you guys want to come to the podium when you speak.
We got chairs for everybody. Why don't you come down? Hey, Judge. All right. This is our 22nd meeting of the year. It is Thursday, June 3rd, 2021 at 10:10 a.m. And we will proceed with a motion to approve previous minutes of board meeting number 21 and approve of bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Advertisement for bids number 1, Jimmy.
This is to advertise for waste removal services for the various county departments, buildings, and their various size dumpsters according to the need of each facility.
Thank you. Motion.
Motion to approve number 1 advertisement for bids.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Journal entry number 1.
Motion to approve journal entry number 1.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Travels A and B. We have job and family and veteran services. We'll go to letter A with job and family.
Good morning, everyone. This is to send 3 of our CSEA staff attorneys to a CLE training per their collective bargaining agreement. The amount is $180 and it's non-general.
Thank you, Tom. And veterans.
I could do.
Jimmy, yes.
Good morning.
Someone's there?
Yes, on the phone.
Sue,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes,
is it Susan?
yes, it is. Good morning.
Good morning, Susan. We don't see your face.
He's on the
Oh,
phone.
I'm on the phone.
Okay.
I
I'll
didn't
let
want
you
to
do
scare
letter
you.
B. Jimmy was going to cover for you.
Okay.
You know he's a veteran.
All right. This is for Mr. Leo Conley to attend the Military Order of the Purple Heart 88th National Convention in Charleston, West Virginia, from August 1st through the 5th. The estimated amount of $550 from the general fund. This is just for his mileage and meals only. All other expenses are being taken care of by the Purple Heart Association.
Very good. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Motion,
Motion to approve number 2 travels A and B.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, under agreements, we have letters A through C. We'll begin with letter A. Audrey.
Commissioners, this is agreement with the Board of Health for office space to conduct WIC clinic at Oak Hill Residence Building in the amount of $30,618 payable to Mahoning County.
Thank you. Okay, letter B, facilities. Jimmy.
This is to replace janitorial closet doors. AM Door and Supply is the lowest of 3 quotations received. The doors through all these years have started to rust out, and this was to correct that.
Okay, thank you, sir. OMB grants. Anna.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is an agreement with the City of Canfield for improvements to the Public Safety Dispatch Center in the amount of $50,000 non-general.
Okay, very good. Motion,
Motion to approve number 3 agreements A through C.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, motion to approve resolutions number 1 additions.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, record of bids A and B, OMB and sanitary. OMB, Anna.
Commissioners, am I on mute?
You're good.
This is a record of bids for Grandview Road Improvements Phase 1 project. This is part of our Community Development Block Grant Program for 2021.
Okay, thank you. Sanitary, Pat.
Commissioners, this is the bid for the Meander wastewater treatment plant resurfacing. This is improvement number 525.
Okay, thank you. Motion,
Motion to approve number 2, record of bids A and B.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, 3, resolution awards, letter A, recycling. Lou?
Good morning, Commissioners. We are awarding this bid to Penn Ohio Corporation to conduct our residential electronics waste collection, first of which being June 12th, coming up here. They were the only bid received.
Okay. Thank you. Motion?
Motion to approve number 3, record of resolution of awards A.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, 4, resolutions A through D. Commissioners, Audrey?
Commissioners, this is a resolution to approve an agreement and expenditures with Mahoning Youngstown Community Action Partnership for emergency rental assistance and funded by the ERA in the amount of 1.5 million. And this is to supplement what we're doing with Catholic Charities so that both agencies will be able to reach out to the community.
Very good.
Say something.
Sure.
And that's all of Mahoning County.
Yes, that is all in Mahoning County. Both Catholic Charities and MyCap are both for all of Mahoning County.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, Audrey. Facilities, Jimmy?
This is a more obligation payment to Buckeye Power Cells. We had to replace a temporary relay on a generator of our administration building. What occurred there, we were in between contracts. We're still negotiating. This may end up being a credit, but we had to move forward because of the emergency situation of needing the backup.
Okay. Thank you for handling that. Letter C, OMB grants. Is Anna going to do that, Audrey?
Anna?
Anna?
Hi, Commissioners. This is on behalf of the prosecutor's office to apply for a grant with the Ohio Criminal Justice Services Agency for the Violence Against Women's Act 2021 request for proposals in the amount of $60,000 with a cash match of $20,000.
Okay, thank you. And sanitary, Pat.
Commissioners, this is a resolution approving the appointment of one drafting coordinator in the engineering department at the sanitary engineer's office.
Okay, very good. What's your pleasure?
Number 4, resolutions A through D.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. And for the good of the order, any elected officials or department heads care to comment? Or what's on your mind? Do we have anyone on from the public?
No.
No? Okay. Nobody?
Very quiet.
Quiet.
Because everybody is in total agreement with everything we do.
That's right.
So there's no.
Oh, Lou's waving his hand.
Who?
Lou.
Lou?
Lou, you're out of order.
I'll take the opportunity to just remind everybody the June 12th electronics drive, Campbell Fairgrounds, 92. It's $20 per screen. This is probably our most popular event of the year. It'll be well attended. And so just try to get there on time. Thanks.
Thank you.
That's the 12th. Good.
Anyone
Thanks,
else? No? Audrey?
Lou. Do you have anything?
Do you want to talk about the census? They still counting heads?
I wish they were.
Cute.
I wish they were still counting.
Oh, that's cute. No, basically, we're just working through all the grants, working with the commissioners. You guys had a great meeting yesterday. I'm sure you guys will speak on that. Looking at some of the needs that are in the valley and listening to those who are bringing those forward to you. So I'll let you guys speak on them.
And we welcome you to the bench. It's
Yeah.
nice to see you up here.
Nancy
Huh?
is back.
Mhm.
Nancy, our clerk, is back.
Well, the
That's
only-
been Nancy's spot.
I was gonna say, the only bad thing
Forever.
about us moving back together is Nancy's got in arm's reach.
How about Cheryl?
She's,
Don't
she's
worry
gonna,
about Nancy.
she's gonna hit me.
I'm the one that's gonna get it.
Well, you're on your own there with Carol, so.
I have to
I think
say-
Nancy's a lot tougher than Carol.
I've seen her a few
Put us
times.
both together.
Well,
Good luck, guys.
well, the bad thing is Anthony and I are surrounded.
Right.
By both of you, so.
And Audrey, don't discount her. She
quiet-
might-
I'm
outnumbered.
She might seem quiet.
You know
but
what? And we can't even
Feisty.
talk, our sergeant at arms there. into assisting us because she'll side with the ladies.
Very.
Jimmy,
man, and
Jimmy,
look
it's all up to you. We
Yeah,
need-
Jimmy, you gotta equal it out.
We need
She's
the
grabbing
veterans.
her
I'm with you.
taser for you.
Oh, dear gosh.
Well,
You know what?
Oh, that's okay. No.
No.
No, I was just gonna say, talking about Jimmy, we'll start it off with Memorial Day.
Oh, God.
You know?
Oh, good. I'm
And,
glad you reminded. Go ahead.
We all had opportunities to go in different directions on Memorial Day and it's kind of was a different scenario this year. We didn't have the parade, but we had the service
Yes.
in Austin town, which was very nice. And, we still had the Fitch Choir singing and which is always amazing. I just love to hear them and they've been all over the world, doing different events on behalf of the high school and the concert choir and the veterans. I mean, if you go to the veterans ceremony at Fitch, on Veterans Day, it's amazing. On Memorial Day, it's equally as amazing to have them come out to the parade and to the service and sing the veteran songs that honor the veterans. So, it was there was two things that I have to steal quotes from, and I don't remember them, so I'll paraphrase, but I believe it was Patton that said that we don't mourn our lost veterans on Memorial Day, but we thank God that they were born and honor them, that they fought on behalf of us and they gave their lives on behalf of us. And then there was one other one that was just a sentence that said, we don't know them all, but we owe them all. And, when we talk about Memorial Day, I don't know how many people had the sad part to have one of their family members lost in service or in battle. And I know that my father used to speak of it. The only one part of our immediate family that we knew was my dad's brother-in-law. His sister's husband was killed at the Battle of the Bulge in Belgium, and he's buried in a grave in Belgium. Back then, I don't know if they did the things they do today to recover soldiers or to bring them back, but I did have the privilege of flying out of from Trier into Luxembourg. And when I was coming back from Luxembourg, I didn't realize that Belgium, was right there and how the proximity. And I had the opportunity to stop into both Luxembourg and see how they honored Patton and to Belgium to see how they honored the American soldiers. So anyway, it's definitely a time where we all should make sure that, we don't just wait for Memorial Day to honor our fallen veterans, but we, keep them in our minds and in our hearts and in our prayers, them and their family on a daily basis. And, one of the unique things that you get acclimated to with knowing people, I've only had the privilege to know Jim for the years I've been in office. But every time I look at Jim, I think of a Vietnam veteran, and during the laying of the roses and during all of the opportunities that we've had to honor veterans here through Mahoning County, Jim's always been involved. And Jim Fortunato being, a veteran from Vietnam, and how really Vietnam was the war that I remember the most growing up through it. And, that gives you a connection because a lot of the people I worked with came back from Vietnam. And I saw, working at Youngstown Sheet and Tube and the steel mill and seeing the soldiers coming back from the late 60s, early 70s that I worked with, and listening to the stories. I mean, it was something that, I thought was made up. It was really things that you wouldn't want to put any of your friends and family into that scenario or situation. And one of the friends of ours, Janet Reynolds, her husband, Bill, I talked to her at the service in Austintown on Memorial Day and said that that Bill died unexpectedly, and he's probably close to your age, Jim. And they found out he died of Agent Orange. And
Joyce
And,
Calpesta's brother.
pardon,
Joyce Calpesta's brother.
brother.
Died of Agent Orange.
Brother died of Agent Orange. Wow. And, so many things go unbeknownst to people that, the different things remind them of them. And, so it's a great opportunity to see, to be able to honor those who have fallen and those who serve, and have served. And one other thing, like Audrey alluded to, we set up a meeting yesterday over at Oak Hill, and the participation was amazing. The people that were there, I was in awe of a lot of the people that were there that participated. And it was really directed around infant mortality in the city of Youngstown, in Mahoning County, because we're the worst in the nation. More Black African-American children die in the city of Youngstown than anywhere else in the United States, which is unbelievable, the mortality rate there. And we need, and there's a lot of people that have been working on this for almost a decade, better.
Since
And identifying, and if
2017,
you
actually.
really sit down and look at the issues that lead to that and the people that were involved, I mean, it's just it's something that if you listen to the details and had that opportunity, it would break your heart. You just need to understand it. We need to identify it. We need to work on it. And there's so much to do. And we're trying to tie a lot of this into the American funds, the CARES Act, and different things to try and assist. And, one of the big thing is there's not a single hospital in the city of Youngstown that will deliver a baby.
Well,
So there's not one baby that can be delivered within the city of Youngstown. I won't get into a lot of detail, but it's something that we all need to work on. There's a lot of good people working on it from the boards of health, both Youngstown and Mahoning County, Youngstown State University, mental health, from children's services. There were so many organizations there. There were probably 40 people there, weren't there, Audrey? I mean,
there were.
probably 40 people there that if you listen to the expertise and the education and the value of the people that were there, I mean, it was pretty ominous that those people, we have those resources to pull from, and we have to be able to do better. So
Anyway,
collectively, all of us together are hoping to move in that direction. So,
all righty
That said,
then. Are
hey,
you done?
yeah,
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. I'll be
Yeah.
like you, and you'll remind me of something else, and then I'll start talking again.
Well, don't interrupt me now. No, I echo that with Dave and Anthony, and Memorial Day is special. We all went to different events. I was at the Hollow, Smoky Hollow. Mostly a neighborhood gathering where they had over 150 people. And it's amazing. It's amazing how in the neighborhoods, how everybody come out to respect the fallen soldiers that were from the Hollow. And some of their families were there. And it's just something, I mean, I did speak, and you know what? I never spoke at a Memorial Day or any veterans event ever. But I told my husband, I says, you know what? I have to bring it to home. I got to bring it home to where the families were in the Hollow. And Carl Nunziato was there, his brother Jerry, and Lazazra, all the people that were with Frank when he was in, when they were in Korea and Vietnam, and National Guard guys and that were there. But I just can't imagine, or I don't know, either any of us could, to have in the day where even World War II and that, have a family, a son come home from Rand or East or North, and go home to the kitchen table where everything happened to say to their parents, I'm gonna go serve my country. We're gonna enlist. To see how that father or mother just heart dropped to their feet. And then they go to war and they pray every day, and then some, God bless, most of them come home, but some didn't make it. And then to go down to the hollow and have that car drive up to the driveway, get out of the car with the flag and go to that door and tell that parent they served, but they didn't make it. I says, it's just, you can't understand how that would feel, I told them. I mean, I don't. I feel it, but I would never know how a parent would feel. Even today in Vietnam, how many guys didn't come home, Jimmy?
58,479.
I mean, do you know, and that war was just,
On the wall.
yes. And how horrible, I mean, to just have
You
that
came back.
parent. Well,
I'm a
Tommy
lucky one.
Stanko's brother
Yes,
didn't make it
he
home.
was killed by friendly fire. 20 years old.
Yes, I mean, how horrible is that? We don't know how lucky we are in this country. You know, we sit and fight and argue and complain about different things, but how lucky are you to be free, that we could even do that? And I mean, I was just shocked. I mean, and the more you talk about it, the harder it is to take in on how you would actually feel. So it was a good ceremony. They always have a great crowd there. I mean, all those older guys that were in the wars, well, World War II, that guy that used to come passed away, but all the guys that were there after that were there from the Hollow and their families. And then yesterday, it was, like Dave said, a very good meeting. I've got to say this, living here in the city with the communities, the minority communities, and most of the communities in the city, they are underserved when it comes to infant mortality. And they're underserved with clinics. I mean, I know there are going to be pop-ups probably going to be happening in the next couple of years, but infant mortality is not acceptable here. It's not. It is just not acceptable. We should not have that. But there's more to that. And that round table that we were at brought a lot of that to light. And I hope this is our second meeting with everybody. And I would imagine by the third meeting that we will have some answers from some of the medical people to what we were allowed to do, what they are going to do for us. And I have many suggestions about things that we could do in the city, and not only in the city. I mean, you got Sebring, you know, you got other areas in the county that look how far you have to go to even get to a hospital. I mean, I know there's Boardman in Youngstown and there's urgent cares, but it's everywhere. I mean, but we need to focus on getting our city better. And I will shut up now. Have a good week. Be safe. It's supposed to be nice out.
You know, just to add one thing to Carol's, when you're saying about families, I mean, we're at an age, not Anthony, but, you know, when we, in the late 60s, you know, it was commonplace for every other house that in your neighborhood to have a star on the window.
Right, exactly.
I mean, all of them had stars on the window
They did.
showing that they had a family member that was in service, the service and overseas, or, you know, fighting on behalf of us, you know,
And
and
they had the World War II
and-
along, my father put a World War II with the star.
really, well, and, you know, you all knew, I mean, you knew everybody's, you'd go down the street and say, oh, so-and-so's brother is in Vietnam, so-and-so's brother's in Vietnam, this guy's son's in Vietnam, and, you know, and there were stars everywhere, you know, and so you always knew which ones, you know, and you know, so it's.
And the people that don't respect this country should have to go serve somewhere. I believe that,
Well,
seriously.
you know what, I believe that
I mean, they should
every
have to see what it's like.
able adult or every able high school graduate should have to go into the service for 2 years. I think that when you graduate high school, you should serve your country for 2 years if you're physically capable of doing it and go through boot camp and go into the service for 2 years, men and women both, and come out and they would have more respect. They would have a better sense of worth and dedication and honor for our country if they went through that. And, I remember in high school, they got 5 of us together and the Air Force came in and tried to convince us to go to the Air Force
I had the
Academy,
same
and went into the
thing.
service.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember sitting there
Recruiters.
and
I had to go down to
thinking
post
myself,
office and sign up.
yeah, I remember
Yeah,
sitting there and
Yeah,
thinking to
the
myself,
card.
I'm not going
Yeah.
into service.
I was like, oh my God, they're gonna call me.
Yeah. And looking back on that, I wished every day that I would have ended up doing that, and I think that it's something that this country needs today.
I'm gonna let Jimmy speak, but another thing I want to say, then I'll close out, is the fact that these politicians that are elected in these high offices better start worrying and supporting our military like what I heard here today, because what I hear in DC, I'm not hearing that too often. So with that being said, Jimmy, you're our veteran.
Thank
Go
you.
for it.
Thank you. First, I want to add on to reflect what Carol said. You mentioned Tommy Stanko, his brother, John. His parents got the knock on the door. They didn't drive. They walked to the cemetery every day until they died. And people don't realize the impact that does forever. For me, here's what I thought of on Memorial Day. I went back to the 35th president, a war hero, JFK, PT 109. The reason I went back to him, and I want to go back to words to remember. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country could do for you, ask what you could do for your country. That's what our veterans did that have died. They died so we're here today and we could discuss and move forward with freedom and everything that's impacted this country. So they have done the supreme sacrifice. So that was my thought on Memorial Day. Words to remember that are still meaningful.
Very nice. Very nice, Jimmy. And thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you for all you've said.
Susan's
I
on
appreciate
the
it
line.
all.
Susan, would you care to share any thoughts on Memorial Day?
You just have to unmute your phone.
I think she can't hear us.
She can hear
She
us.
may not be there.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Jimmy, is that, you good? Yeah.
That's it. But
Well, in closing, my dad served in the Navy. He was there for 5 years, and, throughout his life, he always talked about the friends that he met, the situations that he found himself in the Navy. So anytime I get a chance to participate in a veteran ceremony, I want to go, because I'm not a veteran. I wished I would have served, but I didn't. But I got to participate in the Poland Memorial Day ceremony. We didn't have a parade either, but we had a service and it was well attended. We had the Poland band. And this year I got to read the names of the departed who were members of that Legion post and who were Poland residents. And as I sat there and read their names, me and another gentleman split it. It was 19 names for me and 19 names for Mr. Bannon. I got to ring the bell. And then towards the end, there was one name that come up and it just like caught me. And it was Edward Horn Jr. And why I remember Edward Horn Jr. was that my mother used to tell me when I was a little boy, Ed Horn would come down the street. He was my neighbor and he would play kickball with me and throw the football with me. I really don't remember it, but boy, I tell you, that really grabbed me. And he didn't make it 2 weeks. He came back in a body bag. And the star was always in Mrs. Horn's window. And, as a kids, every time we'd go by, I didn't understand what it was until, my parents explained that to me. But when you read their names, their lives were taken. And, when you hit that bell, it goes through you. But one of the things too at that ceremony was the main speaker was Kristen Fox, the lady who was the quadruple amputee.
She's phenomenal.
She sat right next to me. And it was amazing. I mean, she had like a speech in her hand and she was in a special chair, and I was talking to her, and I just told her, I said, you know, you're an inspiration beyond imagination. I said, I don't know how you've overcome. And she looked at me and she said, I wanted to be here, not so much for myself, but I went through this for my family, still had a mother and my kids.
Yep.
And she said that, and she was doing her speech, and I'm telling you, she was trying to turn her papers with her hands. She could only get so far. So I helped her with it, and she did a fantastic job. And there was more people coming up to her, and believe me, I say, oh, my back hurts. Oh, I don't want to get out of bed. She's missing all limbs. She has prosthetics now, and she's doing very well. Think about that. Think about that. And it was just emotional. And then one more thing I just need to say, a high school buddy that we went through 5th grade all the way through high school, I'm looking at him. He's the band director now for Poland, Jeff Fizdos. And I remember me and Jeff running down the hallway causing problems. And he did such a great job for the Poland band. They sounded good.
How come we believe that?
And I mean, I'm glad I went, and I'm glad that the Post VFW asked me to come. So, you know, we all went out in different directions. I love Memorial Day, Riverside Cemetery. After that, we all went down there. They have a beautiful place set up there, and they did a dedication. I got to carry the wreath out, and you see all the flags on all the graves, and that's touching in and of itself.
Right.
And it was decorated, just beautiful for the veterans.
So that's what
You know,
I call
that's-
teamwork on
yeah.
our behalf. We
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
a little bit to everybody.
You know, what's
Amazing.
when you say the cemetery, you know, my father's, you know, it's back then when my father died or when his family had deaths in the family, they bought plots for everybody. You know, so at Lake Park Cemetery on Midlothian, you know, my dad, I
That's where my
remember him telling
grandparents
us
are.
growing up, and he said, I bought 8, I believe it was 8 plots up there for our whole family. So that, and I bought them up on the hillside, right when the cemetery was, you know, in its infancy. And he said that it overlooked the lake. And he said, unfortunately now it overlooks the freeway.
Yeah.
And, you know, the lake was filled in,
It
the
was cutting
freeway
around
was
it.
cut around it.
That's right.
And, you know, and there was when I went up there was my dad and his 2 brothers, and all of them had flags, you know,
Nice.
because his brother Billy was in the Navy. My dad was in the Army Air Corps, and I believe Floyd was in the Army as well. But the 3 of them, and Billy came home and at age 26 died of tuberculosis. You know, and my dad, you know, he's, you know, my dad used to tell me that him and all his buddies enlisted together so they could all be in the same spot. So they had friends. And he said the day after boot camp was the last time they ever saw each other until the war ended. He said, my dad used to tell us that he was shipped to the Philippine Islands in New Guinea and never set foot on American soil for 3 years. And he was over there through, we lost control of the Philippine Islands at one time during World War II.
That's true.
And
That's true. My
to
dad
the
served in the
Japanese.
Philippines. He
and-
said the same thing.
And Patton,
He was in the
it was
army
Patton
there.
that came back over,
That's all.
and Patton
Probably
came over
passed and
and they regained control of the Philippine Islands.
That's true.
And my dad was there the whole time.
My dad was there in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Isn't that
he
wild?
used to do? I mean, he never really talked about it because he was like one of them military, those policing kind of guys. But he used to go out and on the plane, the jet planes, he used to get his, whatever he had, take the metal, and he'd make bracelets for all of the boys and all the men in the service to send home to their wives and
Oh.
girlfriends. He designed bracelets,
Wow.
and they'd send, my mother had, because when we were clean, I know I shouldn't, this is like us rambling, but when,
Those are called pop art though. People pay a lot of money for stuff
So
like
my
that. from the
mother
war.
used to
Like a
have-
rat bike.
Yeah.
They
She had
pay
a-
a lot.
she had a bracelet, and I went, wow, I kind of like that. She says, you won't wear that. She's not now. I went, well, you know, she says that your dad made that for me when he was in the service.
Mhm.
Sent it home.
Yeah. Wish they were around to tell us those old stories we didn't want to hear back then, you
I
know?
know.
Exactly.
So,
I'll have to
Well-
show you sometime. My dad brought home his Colt 45, nickel plated from the Navy, and he has his bayonet that he had on his rifle, and then on the sheath that you put it in, he scribed on the back all the places he was in the Navy. I'll have to, I still have it. I just have to find
Wow.
it. So yeah, it
Neat
is
is that?
pretty unique.
that's, isn't that funny? Because the only gun I own is a 7.65 Beretta my father brought
There
home
you go.
from World War II that's nickel plated and the bayonet off of his rifle.
See,
Yeah.
what am I telling you?
Yep.
This is so nice to talk about all of this because it's our life, it's our history.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, I hate to close out, but we have to. Nancy, our next meeting.
Next Thursday, right here.
All right, motion,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
roll call.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes, thank you.